Grateful for their bravery, Matthew. Thank you. As you make plans to check out the cherry blossoms in just a few weeks, keep in mind there are some changes around the tidal basin that you need to know about. A lot of the area is still under construction. Meteorologist Caitlin McGrath is joining us live from the tidal basin with how some of the work is going to impact your trip. Caitlin?
And Simone, we really need to think of this as a temporary inconvenience for a permanent improvement. Where we are around the Floral Park is totally normal, no issues. It's across the tidal basin on the south side where that construction is ongoing and may impact your cherry blossom plans just a little bit. But again, think of that minor construction this year as a big benefit in the long haul. Since late last summer, crews have been hard at work.
Hear that ringing in the background.
Reconstructing the tidal basin. This is Mike Litter's 11th cherry blossom season with the National Park Service, and he's noticed the impacts of climate change.
We have been seeing the effects of not only rising sea levels, but failing infrastructure for decades now.
Every day, twice a day during high tide, the water of the tidal basin would pour over the previous seawalls,
Inundating not only the cherry blossoms, but some of the walkways, and even on rare occasions, getting up to the edge of the Jefferson Memorials.
But thanks to a $113 million project funded by the Great American Outdoors Act, the seawalls along the south side of the tidal basin and along the Potomac River are being raised and rebuilt and designed to look just like they did nearly a century ago.
We are in fact now starting to lay the final step, which is the stone cladding over the new seawall to make it look like it did back in the 1930s and 40s when it was first built.
The Park Service is also working on long-term plans to improve how visitors get around the tidal basin, whether by foot, bike, or scooter.
Overall, we're looking for, how does this iconic place, not only in DC, but in the nation, how do we manage the millions of people that come here every year?
So how will this year's cherry blossom experience be different? Litter says the impact should be minimal.
Roads are still open, walkways are still open. There is obviously some fencing and some screening along a short portion of that walk. The congestion occurs on the south part of the tidal basin, and that's one of the reasons we're widening the walkways and rebuilding the seawall. Plan that there's probably going to be more people here than you're expecting.
But rest assured, the views are worth the crowds.
But it is that reminder that we survived the long winter, and that spring is just around the corner when we start talking peak bloom and blossoms.
Oh, and spring definitely feels like it is here out at the tidal basin today. Temperatures in the 60s, tons of sunshine. It is just gorgeous. Now that construction is set to wrap up by spring of 2026. And while they did have to remove 148 cherry trees prior to construction starting, including the iconic Stumpy, there are still more than 2,500 cherry trees to enjoy. So make sure you make some plans to come out and see them as we head through the next couple of weeks. Well,